All right, let's take a couple of minutes to talk about something that will really strengthen your doctoral writing. As I read your discussion posts and papers, I am seeing strong work identifying practice problems and proposing interventions. One writing skill I want to help you strengthen early in the program is evidence synthesis. This becomes especially important as you move toward your doctoral project proposal and final manuscript. Doctoral level writing requires more than describing studies one at a time. The goal is to show how the literature connects and collectively supports the intervention you are proposing for your project. This applies not only to discussion posts, but also to your papers and eventually your final doctoral project. A summary approach describes one study after another. That shows you located literature, but does not yet demonstrate synthesis. A synthesis approach connects studies together and shows how the evidence supports a single conclusion that supports your intervention. A helpful way to approach synthesis is to look for what the studies have in common. Instead of describing each article separately, group the studies together based on their shared findings, what they have in common. Then explain how those findings support the intervention you are proposing for your project. When faculty talk to you about synthesis, a helpful way to think about it is connection. Your job as a doctoral student is to show how the pieces of your project connect, how the studies connect to each other, how the evidence connects to your framework, how the evidence supports the intervention you are proposing to address the practice gap. Strong doctoral writing shows how these elements all come together to support your project. Never introduce a study unless you explain why it matters for your project. A simple rule you can use in your writing is this. After you introduce a study or an article, add a sentence explaining why that evidence matters for your project. Very often, that sentence is where synthesis happens.